Welcome, chess enthusiasts. Like the video and subscribe to join our community. Control of the center with c4, preparing to develop other pieces and potentially creating space for the bishop on c5.
Control of the center with s6, preparing to develop other pieces and potentially creating space for the bishop on c4.
Pawn to g3.
Pawn to d5 is best. This offers a trade. This attacks the pawn.
Bishop to g2.
Developing the knight to a strong central square, preparing to control the pawn to d5 square and potentially attacking the white pawn on c4.
Knight to f3.
Bishop to d7.
Pawn to d4 is the best move.
Kingside castle.
Pawn to d4 is best.
Pawn captures on c4.
Queen to c2.
Pawn to a6.
Pawn to a4 is best.
Bishop to d7 is excellent. This develops a bishop. Knight to c6 is best. This develops a knight.
Knight to e5 is the best move.
Bishop to c6.
Knight captures on c6 is the best move.
Knight captures on c6 is best. This is a trade. This attacks the pawn. This develops a knight. This move gains a tempo.
Bishop captures on c6.
Pawn captures on c6.
Queen captures on c4.
Queen to d5 pins the black knight on f6, preparing to develop the rest of the queenside pieces and putting pressure on the pawn to d5 pawn. This move also creates a potential fork threatening to capture the black pawn on pawn to d5 and the knight on pawn to f6 simultaneously.
Queen captures on d5 is good. This is a trade. Knight to d2 is best. This defends a queen on c4. This develops a knight.
Pawn captures on d5 is best.
I played bishop to f4 to attack black's pawn on s6, preparing to develop the rest of my pieces and potentially creating a pin on black's knight on s6. This move also opens up the f-file for my rook to potentially use later.
I played rook from file f to b8 to support the pawn on pawn to e6 and prepared to develop the rest of the queenside pieces, while also putting pressure on black's position with the rook on b8.
Rook to e2.
Rook to b4 is the best move.
Bishop captures on c7 is best. This captures a free pawn.
Rook captures on d4 is best. This captures a free pawn.
I played pawn to b3 to challenge black's pawn structure and prepare for potential pawn breaks on the queen side. This move also pins black's knight on c6, making it harder for them to develop their pieces.
I played rook to b4 to attack black's pawn on pawn to d5 and prepare to develop the rest of my pieces. This move also pins black's knight on c6, putting pressure on their position.
Knight to d2 is best. This defends a pawn on b3. This develops a knight.
Rook to b7.
I played rook to c1 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, pinning the black knight on pawn to c6 and supporting the central pawns. This move also puts pressure on the black position, making it harder for them to maneuver.
Bishop to b4 is best.
Knight to f3 is excellent. Bishop to f4 is best.
I play knight to d4 to attack black's pawn on s6, creating a potential pin on black's knight on s6. This move also prepares to develop the rest of my pieces and control the center of the board.
Bishop to e5 is good. Bishop to f4 is best. This defends a rook on cone.
Pawn to f6.
Bishop to b2 is good. This defends a rook on cone. Bishop to f4 is best. This defends a rook on cone.
I played bishop to c5 to attack black's pawn on d5, creating a pin on black's bishop on c6. This move also prepares to develop the rest of my pieces and control the center of the board.
Bishop to d4 is best. This offers a trade.
Bishop to f8.
Knight to d2 is the best move.
Pawn to e5 is best. This attacks the bishop. This move gains a tempo.
I played bishop to b6 to challenge white's central pawn structure and prepare to develop the rest of my pieces. The pin on white's knight at pawn to g3 creates a weakness, and I mine the pawn to d4 pawn as a potential target.
Pawn to 5.
Rook from file to c2 is best. This defends a rook on c6. By placing the rook on an open file, it controls important columns.
Pawn to d4.
I played bishop captures on d4 to challenge black's pawn structure and create a potential weakness on the queen side. The pin on the knight also makes it difficult for black to defend against a potential fork on the king's side.
Pawn captures on d4.
Knight captures on d4.
Bishop to b4 is the best move.
Pawn to e3 is best. This defends a knight on d4.
attacking the black pawn on d5, creating a potential weakness and preparing to develop the rest of the pieces. This move also puts pressure on the black position, making it harder for them to maneuver.
I played rook to c8 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, pinning the black knight on pawn to c5 and creating a potential weakness on the queen side. This move also opens up the file for my rook to potentially use in the endgame.
King to f7 is best.
Pawn to f3.
Knight to c5 is best. This defends a rook on b7.
Rook to c3 is excellent. This defends a pawn on f3. King to g2 is best.
Bishop to e7 is excellent. This develops a bishop. Rook from file b to d7 is best. This defends a rook on d5. By placing the rook on an open file, it controls important columns.
Knight to c6 is the best move.
Knight to e6.
Knight to b5.
I played rook to d1 check to put pressure on black's position and create a potential pin on their queen, forcing them to respond to the check while also opening up the file for my rook to potentially use later.
King to g2 is the best move.
Rook to d2 check is best. The game is over. Black wins.